Black Magic, let's get it.
Yeah.
As a child, I played on keys.
All right, family.
Yo.
Family, we should be live right now.
All right.
We should be live right now. As you can see, I'm in the building with Omarion. Omarion, welcome, my brother.
Peace, peace. Thanks for having me. What's up?
Man, it's an honor having you on the platform. I want the people to fill in the room. All right, y'all feel? How do I sound? Is my audio good, family? Let me know if my audio's good, because I'm not using the headphones today. So my audio. Okay. Let me know how the audio is. All right. Audio good? Okay, audio good. All right, I'm gonna let y'all fill up the chat room. In the meantime, I'm gonna get to some ads real quick before I start building with my brother. We're gonna have a wonderful conversation tonight. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It will be a very great conversation. We're gonna be building like gods. It's gonna be high frequency, God frequency talk tonight. So stay tuned. Let me get to a few of these ads from these brothers and sisters who got great businesses. Let me just tell y'all about it real quick. All right, so first and foremost, make sure y'all go to iTunes and stream the Holy Ghost 2 album. Myself and the brother Cambatta is finally available on streaming outlets. So make sure y'all go support that. Yeah, we got something new coming for y'all later in the week as well. But make sure y'all go to Apple Music or Tidal or wherever you go and stream that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cambatta too. Cambatta should be on the platform later on this week, so y'all get to talk to that brother as well. Shout out to Lisa Brown. Got the best Kemetic yoga mats that I've ever seen in my life. We all know how important our health is, our internal health, so make sure you support her. Shout out King Simon with his numerology. That's the man right there when it comes to numerology. He also has a lecture coming up, a dedication, a tribute, ancestral tribute to Dr. Delbert Blair at Nicholas, Brooklyn. So y'all make sure y'all hit him up for that. 347-496-1022. Yes. Also, the brother Riverside Tai Chi, he has some health products. I want you to support this brother. He's been doing very good on the platform, and people have been supporting him and coming back to support him. So the brother has different products. Make sure you'll go to the website and show the brother Riverside Tai Chi some love. All right, family? I also want y'all to support the brother Samsara. He has some country trap tunes that he wants the people to listen to. You know, the brother's trying to change the frequency for music, so I don't blame him. Parindra Ja Deep also has organic hair products, skin products. Y'all make sure y'all support them folks as well. So yeah, their information will be in the description bar. So y'all have plenty of time to click on their links in the description bar to support them. But in the meantime, back to what we're going to do tonight, and that is talk to the brother Omarion. You can hear me, right, brother?
Yeah.
Let me just see what's going on in the chat room. All right, so brother, first I want to say I just seen I was on your YouTube page, my brother, and I just seen your interview with Layla Hathaway.
Yes.
Amazing, dope, very inspirational.
Word up, man. Thank you.
But I like that format. I like what you're doing. I like the intimate behind the scenes setting, and just as a musician and as a creative, I could really appreciate that type of conversation y'all was having.
Yeah, I think it's important to bridge the gap, so to speak, especially with people with the likes of like Layla Hathaway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Her talent and her skill level is DNA, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So she's also just a wonderful person, and it was so cool to be able to sit down like that, because you know, in my industry, a lot of elders or people that have been in the music industry, you know, you never really get to see those conversations in the studio, or you know, artist to artist creative talk. So it's always cool to be able to share and build, So yeah, shout out to Layla. Love her.
Indeed. What do you think? What is it about our culture where we throw the elders out in terms of our music culture? It seems as though, once you get to a certain age, we don't respect your musical ability for some reason. And I don't see other cultures do that. Why do you think we do that in our culture, Omarion?
I think that well, one being that, your musical, I guess, taste is really, it comes from your parents, you know what I'm saying? So I think that, sometimes there's a disconnect based upon what was in your household. Listen to great music. A lot of the music that I listen to, comes from her and comes from my grandma. So I think it really, the disconnect is just with the connection of your foundation. You know what I mean? Like what's your sonic foundation? You know what I'm saying? What music was you growing up listening to? And I think that that's where the disconnect comes from. You know what I'm saying? To answer your question, I think that's where the disconnect comes from.
Indeed. Who's some of your inspirations to get you started and what made you do what you do today?
Well, aside from because it has changed, over the years, but aside from, all of the gods, that's been putting down music forever, if I could think of a few, Frankie Beverly, Charlie Wilson, um, of course, Michael Jackson, um, a few gospel singers, Jay Moss, Dawkins and Dawkins. There was a period of time when I really listened to gospel a lot. Commission, Fred Hammond. Um, who else? I could go, a big list. Kim Burrell, Aretha Franklin, um, Alicia Myers. I could keep going on. Those are some of my musical influences right there.
Indeed. Do you think a lot of the artists, they had their beginnings in the church, whether you're a singer or whether you're a music producer? A lot of music producers used to have their, as a child, they learned to play the piano or to play an instrument in the church. And
Yep.
it seems as though we're in a new era where the church isn't as popping as it used to be. So do you think that kind of leads to our music not being as love based as it used to be, or we see R&B's on a decline? Do you think that's because we're not in a church no more, my brother?
I think that has maybe a little bit to do with it for some people, but a lot of the musicians, like my band members, and a lot of the producers that I know, they still, they still go to church and make a few dollars,
Yeah,
every weekend.
yeah.
So I don't know if that I would contribute uh the church not being popping to the popularity or the unpopularity of love-based songs, but I guess I would say that things change and things have to take on a natural cycle, and we're just kind of in this period of time right now where a lot of the record companies are interested in what predominantly can sell fast.
Right.
You know, a lot of it is not necessarily deep rooted in in love. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to get out of my situation. So let me get out of my situation now. You know what I'm saying? Which no disrespect to, anyone that's doing their thing, changing their, life. But I think that because that's there, a lot of people don't, it's like, oh, that's there. We on to something else. And, the record companies, they're really kind of just providing funds, you know what I'm saying? So they don't really know what's popular. And there is also, consumers out there that don't even know what they like, so whatever is tangible. And, that's when we start getting to marketing and marketing dollars and who people are really marketing to. And, you know, the game is interesting right now. The game is very interesting right now.
Indeed. You know what I noticed? I noticed when I was young, growing up, actually my birthday's tonight, midnight. I'm a
Oh,
Virgo.
what?
Yeah. So
Happy
everybody that
birthday,
travels,
brother.
everybody that travel, make sure you'll send me some birthday love. Hit up that Cash App, family.
Hey, hit that Cash App.
Make
B-Day love. Spread that B-Day love.
sure you'll show some B-Day love the brother Rich. I'm getting older in the game.
Slit.
I'm itching up the 40 family. I'm getting older, man.
Hey.
Make sure y'all send some B-Day love. Hit up the Cash App. But what I want to say, Omarion, is when I was young, I would always hear my uncles singing to their woman. And the Marvin Gaye, the Moments, the Whispers, all of these groups. So when I got a little older, like when I first got with my girl, I used to sing to her. So I would be, I was singing. I remember this one song I was singing. I'd be the Whispers. I'd be like, I wanna make you my wife, my everything. But I don't like, we don't do that no more. Like, we somewhere along the line, we considered brothers I know in the streets started looking at as being feminine, singing to your woman. So I'm trying to figure out, how does singing to your woman, something I see my uncles do, all the old time players, hustlers, all of them was into that. Somewhere along the line that became feminine. And I'm trying to figure out, like, where do we lose it at? Could you touch on that for a little bit?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting topic, right along with men dancing with women.
Yes, that's enough. Yes.
Because there was a such thing back in the day, and something that is I see also coming back to the forefront is social dancing. Unless you're a dancer, then you don't social dance. But that was the conversation with the woman, and I would like to see that, and I would like to be, at the forefront of bringing that back to the space, because I think the conversation between men and women, which is, by the way, a old beef, you know what I'm saying, from a long time ago. Yeah. I believe the first beef was like between a man and a woman, you know what I'm saying? Right. It wasn't all of these ancillary things that are kind of happening in society, nowadays. I think that people stop taking pride in the conversation, which is a real important conversation as far as a man goes, because I was raised by all women. So, a lot of people don't even understand my hair, because I actually come from a family of hair. Why do you maintain, your look? Why do you maintain, your upkeep? At some point in time that became, what did they call that term? What's that term? See, I don't even know the term. Hold on, let me think about what the term is. But it was like, basically, if you took care of yourself, then you were considered this type of person. I forget the term, it escapes me. But yeah, it was like these terms that kind of boxed in the natural man and the natural conversation with women, which it needs to be had again. You know what I mean? Because in my personal opinion, that's why I do what I do. My audience is a big makeup of women, and I love women. I don't even understand, how, some people, they're not really interested in that relationship. I love women. So, yeah.
What about, what's interesting? I think what's interesting is how we always try to box people in, put people in a certain box and say, if you look like this or act like this, then you have to be this. And I look at two of the greatest musical influences of all time, Michael Jackson and Prince. Right. And now the way they look, a person in the moves that they made, a person wouldn't expect that from them. Prince told Nas, I just heard that on Drink Champs, I can't work with you unless you own your masters.
Right.
Genius. He warned about the internet. He talked about, the way he was maneuvering. Michael Jackson, the way he maneuvered with catalogs, even his military. He used to wear the like the military thing.
Yeah, the general swag. Yep.
So it's like we always trying to box people in, but we had these two, what they would call them androgynous figures, but
Right.
they were very militant.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on MJ and Prince and moving so militant in the industry? It's almost like maybe the industry wasn't even ready for that because they thought they wasn't going to move like that. But
Right.
talk about MJ and Prince.
Well, first of all, Michael Jackson and Prince are major influences in my creativity and expression because my mom grew up on them as well as my first concert as a child. Um, you know, when I recollect why I even have been inspired to dance to perform, it's because of Michael Jackson. Now, the thing that I think people, you know, don't understand about dance is that you know the male and the feminine aspect of dance, or let's just say a spin, or a pas de bourrée. um it's the same thing. If you're a man, it's the same thing. There's no specific way to, do a turn. If you're doing a turn, you're doing a turn. So I think that, people misconstrue dancing as, almost not being masculine anymore and just being feminine. And cats like Mike and Prince, they really kind of defy the laws within that. They were able to express themselves and be masculine in the inner, but also appear feminine on the outside. Like the deity, is it Narita? There's a dance deity that is actually a man, but that appears to be a feminine, appears to be a woman. So yeah, I think that I think that nowadays, even Cisco, what I'm saying, there was a point in time where I was like, really inspired by Cisco, but it was like he was doing his hair platinum. It was a lot of things back then. I'm like, oh, this is really feminine. You know what I'm saying? But expression is expression. Expression is expression, and at the end of the day, if you're masculine, you're masculine, no matter what you wear.
Indeed. What in terms of like being a musician, there's like a magical process that takes place that I think is like one of the most interesting things in the world that I would just want you to touch on that I think is kind of interesting. When I'm in the studio, like, my channel, they know I produce music, and it's like, if I make a beat, a lot of times, Omarion, like, I'll get in the zone, and then when I'm done making it, I don't even realize I just made that. And it's like, oh
Yeah,
shit, I did that. And I don't even remember how it happened or what happened. I just know that it did happen.
yeah,
And nothing like that nothing else in life has produced that feeling to me but music.
yeah.
Whereas I felt like something just took over me, like
Right.
almost like I was possessed.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have had a lot of magical experiences with music, with dance.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that?
That's actually a place that you always want to be. You always want to return to that space because it's a certain level of freedom and creativity where you're able to be a medium and speak a higher language.
Mhm.
In creativity, in songwriting, in production, in dance, this is the level that you want to reach every time. I look back at a few performances that I've done and I just was like, wow, what was I thinking? I don't know. I was tapped in. You want to tap in. You want to
Right.
tap in. That's what you want to
Yeah.
do for
Yeah.
sure.
Damn. So tapping in will be the equivalent to the ego just taking a back seat. Then the ego has to take a
Facts.
back seat.
Facts.
Mm.
And a lot of other things too, like thought. Or what is this
Oh,
person gonna think? What is this person thinking while I'm dancing? Or what does this person think of this song? Like all of that does take a back seat in the in the um in the in the in the moment that happens.
and I want everybody to realize that this is just not a musical thing. This is a creative process thing. So
Right.
if you make shirts, if you're a designer,
Yeah.
if you're an artist, whatever you do, we could all tap into that frequency, and that they call it the flow state. Some people call it the flow. Back in the day, they called it the zone. They call it the zone.
Yeah,
But
that's rough.
it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be in. That
Yes.
I just when it comes to music, like that's when I experienced it. So I just thought it was wonderful. Talk to me about this as a celebrity. Do you ever like fear seeing about Michael's, hearing the things about Michael, like the conspiracy theories about Michael or about Prince or about Tupac? Do you ever fear like, damn, I can't say certain things because all the greats seem to have went out a certain way, so I gotta be quiet about certain topics? Has that ever like entered your mind or come across you?
Well, yeah, being one of the few people that was raised in the industry and started very young, yeah, of course, you know, thoughts like that have crossed my mind. But to be completely honest with you, there's a time for everything. And even, you know, that Prince is gone and Michael is gone, um, the information continues to come out about their creativity and really who they were meant to inspire. So I don't fear it. I don't fear it. I don't fear it anymore. I definitely have had moments like that. And I've been a part of, you know, Sony. That was actually the first record company that I signed a deal with, was Epic Records. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it can be tricky, but at the end of the day, if you're purpose driven and you're steadfast in what it is that you're doing and your contribution to music, then I think that you know, you kind of have to just carry out your purpose. It's like, what am I here for? What am I still doing music for? Like, what's the purpose of it? You know what I'm saying? Is it just to, you know, make you horny, or is it just to make you upset, or is it just to, you know, uncover some more emotions, or is it to inspire you, or is it to motivate you, you know, or is it to motivate someone else, you know, or is it to really all stay connected to, you know, this thing we all feel connected to, which is life.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's different for me. It's different for me. Um, at this point in time in my creative art, you know, especially with having children, it is completely shifted. Um, the dialogue, concurrently, what I'm speaking about and I'm writing about in my music, it's ever so changing. And I think that that is how music should be. You know, there is a such thing as coming up with a hit record. And of course, that brings a lot of awareness and attention to you as an artist, but there's more. So, yeah.
What would you say? Like, I think what's amazing, my brother, that I respect so much about you, my brother, is your longevity in the game.
Thank you.
And you know what I'm saying? Just starting out so young and still being out there to this day, and your mind, your mental state. You seem to be so sharp right now. You seem to be sharper than ever. You know, I talked to you, me, you, and Red Pill.
Word up.
Kicking it. You know, we was
Uh,
vibing a
Shout
couple of
out to
months back.
Red Pill and
And yeah,
Blue.
shout out
Yeah.
to the Red Pill. And
Shout-
your mental is just so sharp, my brother. And you know, there's always this outside looking in perspective and this inside looking out perspective. And from the outside looking in perspective, we always look at, damn, you got famous young, you're gonna be fucked up in the head. Macaulay
Fact.
Culkin, or I don't want to say Justin Bieber and you know, throw him under the bus, but
Right.
people feel as though when you get famous too young, it fucks up your mental.
Yeah.
So could you talk to me about that perception that we on the people on the outside looking in have on people getting famous too young and that fucking up their mind, and how you was able just to be in the game so long and be so and be sharp and be as you know, as conscious as you are right now, my brother?
Well, I really have to attribute everything to my foundation, because the music business is not for a child.
Mm.
It is not for a child. It is not for a child. And, I just happened to, be around it very early on. So it was an easy transition for me. But it's the business period is not for a child, And if I didn't have a strong foundation, I would be fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
There
right,
is there's many experiences. I tell people that I pay for my lessons. A lesson taught is a lesson bought. So I had to pay for a lot of lessons, you know what I'm saying? But usually when you pay for those lessons, you don't want to pay again. You know what I'm saying? So in my experience as an artist, there has been a lot of things that I was like, yo, the fuck?
mm,
There was a lot of people that were around, especially with being a child, that has certain responsibilities, and let's just keep it all the way 100. You know what I mean? If you don't know about the business and you don't have anyone that can give you information, like hire your own attorney, or look at this deal, here go a few examples, understand what you're signing, 7 album deal, except 360. If you don't understand this, then you're gonna end up, um, learning those lessons. And at the end of the day, it's really what you do with those lessons. So I would, again, I would attribute, my nana and my mom and all the women that were there, supported me. I can't say that that was the same for a lot of cats that I grew up with. You know what I mean, in the industry, and let alone maybe even some of the of you know, the group members. You know what I'm saying? The music business is tough, and I think the only thing that truly saved me was, my praying nana and my mom. You know what I'm saying? Which still had me at 16, so she was a very young mother. So I really attribute, my place and my outlook to those ladies, for real. If you want to get involved in anything, just make sure you got a solid foundation, because you know we live in a space of polarities. You know what I'm saying? So just as good as it is, it's just as bad as it can be. And that pendulum is gonna swing, you know what I'm saying, back and forth. So what really helped me um, just transition and transform through that was my family. So you know and your family doesn't have to always be blood, you know what I'm saying, just some solid homies,
right.
some solid people. That's really important. That's really important.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's good advice for the people listening. What I'm gonna hold up. Oh yeah, what I want to talk to you about is that the fact that we have a certain thought process with people that are the people that are watching television have a certain thought process. They think a certain way. They may sit in front of the television for hours and they're absorbing celebrity culture.
Hmm.
Obviously, the celebrities have a certain thought process because they want to be celebrities. They're on the television and they put in a lot of work a lot of times into their craft. Being in the game so long, what would you say is, have you noticed is a difference in the thought process between the people that observe what you do and the people that that do what you do? What's the distinct difference in our thought process as far as just life and
Right.
moving in life?
I think maybe sometimes people are put in the box based upon their support system, and their the biggest difference is, like, well, first of all, let me just say, like, my mom always supported me. If I wanted to play basketball, all right, we playing basketball. If I wanted to do this, we doing that. A lot of parents, like, almost kind of map out their children's lives, you know what I'm saying? And never really give them the opportunity and space to just be free to see what they connect with. So I would say the biggest difference in me and maybe, some other kid was just the simple fact that my mom encouraged me, versus, telling me that I needed to go to college, you know what I'm saying, which I didn't go. You know, I remember my after ninth grade, I did 10th grade, maybe summer school, and then after that, I was on the road. So my mom really pushed me in that way because that was something that I truly wanted to do. So I think the big difference is it's just your belief in your support system. You know what I'm saying? It's like because it could really go any way. You know what I mean? There's a lot of child celebrities that were groomed for just that. You know, got the momager. You know what I'm saying? Messing it all up for you. You know what I mean? Or helping you and supporting you. So to answer your question, yeah, I think the biggest difference is just where you coming from with it. You know what I mean? Where you at with it?
I was watching an interview on Sway, and they was like, "Yo, Omarion looked the same like he looked years ago. Like this dude don't age. Like, and we're in the middle of a movement in which the food industry is shifting toward a vegan lifestyle.
Right.
People are looking to change their lifestyle in terms of eating, in terms of just living and just all types of ways.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? I heard you talk about, every morning you drinking your smoothies or whatever. What are
Facts.
your thoughts about, the whole vegan movement that we're undergoing right now in America?
Well, it's interesting because we live in a place that, you know, likes to capitalize on everything. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So, that's like the good old bait and switch. Oh, this is hot right now. Let's hop on this. Boom. Oh, that's hot right now. Boom. Let's hop on this. So, you definitely have to be careful. But I would say that mine was motivated by just really wanting to live a healthier lifestyle and also strength. I have a thing, you know what I mean? I have a thing with being strong and not just strong minded, strong will, but also the physical aspect of it because I'm a performing artist, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you really think about the hours, it's like let's just, for example, use the Millennium Tour. The Millennium Tour, we were doing 5 shows a week and then only 2 days off. It's like, can you really survive eating, a drive-through food like that? Actually, you can kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, also a part of, me maintaining that is just changing my mind and changing my lifestyle. I think it's interesting. I think that the vegan lifestyle is interesting. I'm still learning a lot, about certain uh food and I wanted to say electrical foods, or I think I may have heard Dr. Sabi say that before.
I was
But
on electrical, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when you really think about that and as it pertains to your body, if you really want to stick around, you got to eat right. You got to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're going the other way. And the other way is the way of, that we all have to eventually go anyways. So it's like, either you're, prolonging that process or, you know, you you speeding that process up, you know what I'm saying? Or either speeding that process up or you slowing it down. You know what I mean? And with eating right, you kind of slow that down. You preserve your body, you preserve your energy. And my energy is really important for me. My energy is what, produces my lifestyle and, supports my family and also, keep me energized with my kids. You know what I'm saying? So I think eating healthy is awesome.
I was I forgot who I was talking to. Who was I talking to? I forgot damn. I forgot who I was talking to. I forgot. But anyway, I was trying to figure out. I was like, damn. When I look at you, brothers, just look at yourself and what you're able to do and accomplish. and I think I might have been talking about Diddy to somebody, and I was like, yo, how the hell is Diddy able to fit so much in the 24 hours? And I'm like,
Right.
yo, I'm trying to reach a certain level of success to accomplish goals that I personally have. And I'm like, yo, it seems like time is against me. And a brother told me, yo, it's not about managing time, it's about managing your energy.
Mm.
So I feel you when you say that, you know, the
Fact,
healthier you are, the more energized you are, you could get a lot more accomplished in a small amount of time.
facts.
So I definitely feel what you're talking about when you say that. Somebody good. Have you ever heard of KT, the arts degree?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, yo, KT Sharp, that's the man. I'm telling you.
Facts.
Yo, Mario,
Facts.
out of everybody
Facts.
that I peep, yo, KT, he's helped me out. Like he's helped me out a lot. He's helped me, my girl, and my family. Like KT helped me out a lot. So
Yeah.
definitely, any health related issues, I recommend that brother to everybody. So I just had
Facts.
to throw
That's
that out
facts.
there.
That's facts.
Yeah,
Salute to
shout,
KT.
yeah, shout out to that brother. Um, what do you think about in terms of like? I remember in the early what year? This might have been around 2006 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, like it's just always interesting talking to brothers such as yourself. I was just talking to Dame Dash the other
Right.
day. I had an interview with him and just getting his perspective on things because there's sometimes there can be such a disconnect
Yeah.
between people watching TV and people that are on television. And we're being lied to so much by the media.
Facts.
So that creates a division, you know what I'm saying? And I remember during the early 2000s, there was so much Illuminati information coming out
Right.
saying that all you guys sold out, sold your soul, took the oath, and
Right.
and you know, y'all Freemasons, y'all part of this fraternity. What was it like being on the inside, hearing all of this? Like, did it affect you? Did you think it was just like some tabloid shit, or was you like, yo, like, what was your thoughts during that Illuminati era?
Well, I mean, I've definitely seen my fair share of things that can
Exposed, remember the exposed videos?
yo yo. Yeah, I mean, I definitely seen some things and I definitely have seen some people go through some things that's just, you know, for lack of a better word, really fuck their mind up. You know what I'm saying? So on one aspect, you know, I was like, oh, this is real. But then on another aspect, you know, some artists are here just to do their business. You know what I'm saying? Actually, a lot of artists, you know, just to do their business. So I think that era and that time was really really interesting. But the takeaway was is that a lot of that stuff is real. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on the kind of business that you're doing, um your level of involvement, or there's a few times where a few of my artist friends have been approached, you know what I'm saying, about being a part of certain cults and stuff like that, so it's real, you know what
Mm,
I'm saying.
mm.
um but it's interesting, it's interesting, it's just like a gang. I mean, everything is a gang, you know what I mean. And on the west, it's like, you really grow up with that kind of mentality, like, yo, if I'm with these people, I'm with these people. And you kind of stay with that, you kind of stick with that, unless you're someone that transforms in that, and someone that is used in that. So yeah, that's really really interesting. And I don't and also uh there's aspects of it that were intriguing and less more about the association, but more about the building aspect and the relationship aspect. So there's a lot of things to be said about that, but I would say it's real, it's real,
Mm.
it's real,
Keeping it real, keeping it
it's
real.
real.
Who's your favorite artist out right now? Do you have like a favorite artist, like anybody that's like impressing you crazy right now, my brother, that's on the scene right now?
Well, I think that because we're such in an interesting time in music, I'm kind of like just I'm waiting to see, who has, staying and lasting power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of the musicians, any musicians, I'm like, yo, uh, if I could think of anyone, like the only person that's coming to mind right now is like SZA. I like SZA. I like what she's doing. Um, it's very few people. I mean, of course, Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? Of course, anybody over at TDE, J Rock, you know what I'm saying? What's the young lady name? Uh
Tomorrow.
that one her. Yeah, I like her. I like her. I like what she's doing. She's a musician. So yeah, I think she'll definitely have some lasting power. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I really listen to a lot of older music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're old soul, huh?
Old soul, you know what I'm saying? With a few, you know what I mean, with a few new producers, with a few new, you know what I'm saying, mixes, you know what I mean? I'm a SoundCloud. I go down the SoundCloud hole sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I come up with some gold, but a lot of it is like remakes and edits, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much old songs.
Do you think Drake contributed to the decline of like the 90s R&B and early 2000s R&B? When he came out with his style, he was like rapping and singing.
Right.
That became like the new R&B, like what Drake was doing, and the traditional R&B died out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. He ushered that in. You know what I'm saying? Because it is versatility. You know what I'm saying? So, if you come in the game with two instruments, you know what I'm saying, you already have an advantage point. And I also feel like his advantage was, that a whole, he was from a whole other place. You know what I'm saying? He's from Canada, you know what I mean? And really had a support of a whole other space that if you're from America, it's a little bit different. you know
Yeah,
it's like everybody's here, cooking. And if you come from the outside in, then that's an advantage, you know what I'm saying, because you can really observe, how you want to do it versus, it's in your backyard, and we could just go talk to this person, or matter of fact, we gonna cook it right here, and then they gonna smell it, and then they gonna come over here, you know what I'm saying.
right.
I definitely feel like Drake ushered that in for sure.
Indeed. Now, when you were young, coming up in the game, and you and B2K were doing your thing, did you ever look at, like, I don't know if y'all was popping the same time in sync, Backstreet Boys and all
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
popping. Did y'all okay? So did y'all ever, like, I hear about how New Edition used to talk about New Kids on the Block. Did you
Right.
ever look at and sync Backstreet Boys and say, yo, they're because they're white, they're able to have more success than we have? Did you ever see that element as far as the white boy band versus the black groups? Did you ever see that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the support was crazy, just as far as the budget being open. I remember we would go to an NSYNC concert, and we would have, the whole thing is about trucks, like how many trucks you got. We have maybe 3 4 trucks. This is building up our stage, whatever our gags are. We used to have the stage that went into the middle of to the middle of the audience. So we had like maybe like 3 or 4 trucks. NSYNC had 100 trucks, you know what I'm saying? So it was exponentially, bigger than what we had. And that is also one of the reasons why, I believe we were successful, because that didn't exist in, culturally in our space. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, here goes, you know, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, but where's the black version of that? And I think that that's how we were able to come through, you know what I'm saying, and shine. And it's really cool, even still to this day. I believe I stumbled upon like New Kids on the Block video, like a recent video, and they're paying homage to all of the groups, and they gave us a little shout out in there, man. So it's cool to be a part of that very small list of you know of artists, melanated artists. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Talk to me about when you hear about stories about, because I see some of the comments I seen in the comment section. They say, "Yo, Omarion looks Native American."
Hey,
It makes me think about, and you're a dancer, and it makes me think about, the stories we hear about the natives making it rain, dancing to make it rain. And
fat.
I don't know if people realize just how spiritual dancing is. So when you hear stories about you being as, I mean, like your touch video was probably like, when I
Yeah.
seen that, I was like, this nigga could dance. When like that shit was serious. You and that girl, yeah, that was serious, my brother.
Thank you.
When you hear those stories about the natives making it rain through dance, does it sound far-fetched? Is it relatable? What's your thoughts on that?
Facts. It's very relatable. And it's unfortunate that some of us have to go to 23andMe and ancestry.com to really, find out the lineage, you know what I'm saying? Because it really is something that we should know. But, we're still connected through the dance. And I definitely believe in those rituals. You know what I'm saying? I believe in, the power of dance because it literally is a language, and whether or not you can dance, you still understand it. I actually feel, and I don't know this to be a fact, but I actually feel that dance like kind of became came before a lot of other languages, you know what I'm saying, language, body language, the dance language. So it's a really old language that's probably been around for so long, and that's why it,
Yo,
so powerful.
you know what's crazy? The artist that Cambatta that I got this album with out right now, he does shrooms. So
Yeah.
he told me, this is video. He been told me to put it out. I didn't put it out yet. It's an amazing video about his psychedelic trips. And
Lit.
he said in the video, he said that he encountered these group of entities on his shroom trip. And it sounds bugged. It's gonna sound bugged out, Amari. It's
No,
gonna
no, no. I'm definitely taking shrooms, so it don't sound that bugged
he
out.
said he encountered aliens that they just communicate through dance. And he said when he seen them, he said it looked just like the in Kemet, the Egyptians when they was like taunting. He
Yeah,
said they were dancing just like the taunting. He was like they was trying to communicate through that. And I was
yeah.
like, wow, that shit is crazy, bro.
It's
But
real,
I
man.
mean, so when you said that, you think that's the oldest form of communication. Like he was making moves. He was like, yo, Rich, they was like, taunting and all of this. And
Wow.
it reminded me of the walls of Kemet. And he was like, they were trying to communicate me through that. And I'm just looking, I'm high on shrooms, like, you know what I'm saying? So that don't sound far-fetched to you. Wow, I mean, okay, that's interesting, my brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, the power of actually right now, I've been dancing all week, by the way. You
Okay.
know, I've been dancing all week, by the way.
Yeah.
But man, dancing is so special. I would advise, that everyone, Brother Rich, if you ever in LA, man, take a new style hustle class with me, bring your lady, and
Mhm.
definitely dance. I feel like if I didn't dance, then life would be a little harder. You know what I'm saying? You have to express, you have to release that energy. You know what I mean? Dancing is a powerful thing. I mean, let's talk about the moonwalk. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that spotlight and how Michael was, popping and vibrating. It's a powerful thing. So I
Yo,
would tell everybody to dance if you can. Even if you can't dance, find some time to dance.
it's in our body right now, our cells are dancing. They're not still, they're vibrating.
Right, right.
And the thing is that they're vibrating, and they said when they observe how the cells move on like this microscope, it's like making sacred geometrical shapes.
Wow.
So when we look at when people really know how to dance, they it look like they're doing sacred geometry.
Right.
So
Right.
you're mimicking what's going on inside your body. That shit is godlike. That shit is straight God. That's God frequency shit right there.
Facts.
That's why you're able. They say, "Yo, you could dance."
Yeah.
Yo, like it's a gift to be able to mimic what's going on inside of you. So when
Yeah.
you're doing all this shit and it's like, oh shit, you could mimic that what's inside of us. Like, yo, I
Right.
swear, that's
Yeah,
it's
man.
one of the illest thing because yo,
Yeah,
we
for sure.
vibrational beings. We vibrational beings.
Facts.
We vibrate. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate dance. I always appreciated dance, man. And you know, my mother passed away when I was 25, Omarion. And one of the things, my mother passed away when I was 25, right? So my father passed away before I was born. One of the things my mother used to do that made her feel good, and I realized when I was older, I guess to connect with him, she would go in the living room in our living room in the dark, and she would put on the oldies and she would just dance. And anytime I would try to come to the living room with my sister or anybody, she would kick us out, be like, "Get out of here." That was her time to herself. So dancing was her way to connect with my father into that realm.
Yo.
So I know what the fuck dance do. You know what I'm saying? She would do her two-step and she would snap her fingers. You know what I'm saying? So she was connected with the ancestral, the spiritual realm through dancing and through music. So I know how special and how important that is to our people.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I just definitely had to share that, man.
Yeah, I think for everybody tuning in right now, if you can at least once a week, if you could get it in, if you could social dance or, in your living room, just turn on some music and catch a vibe and summons that energy, that's what I really appreciate and love about, some of my OGs and the people that I respect, especially like house dancing.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been currently doing a lot of. And the really cool thing about that community is that it's so many different people, from a lot of different walks of life, and nobody talks to each other. We don't have to speak. It doesn't have to be a, hey man, what's going on with you? It's like dance floor, circle, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely advise that, hey, yo, y'all get some dancing in. Trust me, it will make you feel better. You know what I mean? If you're going through something, it will make you feel better. Trust that.
And I think I might have said this when you and Red Pill went out to eat. In my manifestation process, when I want to manifest certain things and I would go into ritual mode, dancing helped me, was a major part of the process.
Word.
And when I would meditate, sometimes like I don't like me personally, Omarion. Sometimes I meditate and I'm in certain positions because I know you channel certain energy. But sometimes when I'm in a meditative state, I like to move around. So I may dance and may be in my music. And I tell you, sometimes I may drink some Hennessy. I told people this on my show. Like I may have some Henny magic. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Dancing is always something that I engage in because there's something about it that makes the manifestation, the visualization more real.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very magical process, my brother. Yo, let me ask you this. What do you think about when you sing as a performer and you see video and you remember Michael Jackson when he would just move his arm like that and motherfuckers used to just pass out? Like that shit was the craziest shit I ever seen. Like he would just go like that and people would pass out and they would have to get an ambulance for them. Like, yo, what's that about? Yo, ain't that some crazy shit?
Yeah, I mean, that's like that's powerful. I mean, if I could explain it in words, I'm not sure what he was thinking of when he was pointing, you know what I'm saying, or when he stood there, but I know that it was something going on. It was something going on. You know what I'm saying? Michael was a very powerful performer, along with James Brown, along with a lot of cats. along with the Nicholas brothers. You know what I'm saying? I could just keep going on. A lot of the powerful performers. You know what I'm saying? Dancing is a true language that we all understand, whether or not we dance or not.
Um, we're talking about Michael Jackson. I'm here. I watched the interview with Vlad, and he had Dallas Austin on there. Dallas Austin was talking about how Russia was hiding Michael Jackson from the U.S. at
Right.
one time. Also, I was on Instagram and I seen a video Red Pill just posted. It was a little kid and he was singing like some drill music from Chicago and he had like a toy gun. He pointed and he knew all the lyrics, like all the lyrics. Like Lil Dude knew all the lyrics to the drill music. Like he was talking about killing niggas, all types of shit. And I'm observing all of this and I'm thinking about the power of music. And what I want to ask you is just saying all that and you observing everything you observe, Michael Jackson and everything, do you think musicians hold the most power in this physical realm? Sometimes it seems that way, like music and musicians hold the most power in this realm right here.
Yeah, music is a very, very powerful thing. I guess in certain aspects, yeah, probably, because if music didn't exist, I mean, I don't even know how life would be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say that music is, the most potent. You know what I'm saying? The most powerful um thing that exists on the planet. Yeah, I would agree with you, Rich. I would agree.
Shout out to I see the brother Rizza Islam in the chat room. That brother, I see the brother.
Hey,
Yeah, Rizza be
hey,
dancing.
I seen RZA. I
Yeah,
seen RZA Islam definitely you know what I mean, on his MJ.
yeah, he be on
What
his.
up, RZA?
Yeah, he definitely be on his MJ vibe right there.
Uh,
Omarion, they just recently had, and we're about to wrap it up, family. I don't want to hold the brother too long, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit up that Cash App, family. Support Brother Rich.
Happy birthday, brother Rich.
Yeah, happy
That
birthday
cash
tonight.
app.
If you appreciate independent media, show support. Also, Brother Rich's birthday tonight, September 17th. Virgo's in the building.
Hey,
But they recently had the revolt. I probably got about two more questions for you, my brother. They recently had the revolt summit.
uh-huh.
And I mean, like they got like the revolt YouTube channel got like 1 million views in a day. I mean, the videos is being shared everywhere with Killer Mike
Yeah.
and Candace Owens. She rides hard for the Republicans or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But there's like people like how we talked about with the vegan movement. People are more conscious than what they were just 5 years ago. What's your thoughts on observing this whole woke movement? Like, what do you think about the whole woke? Like a lot, even yourself, my brother. A lot of people would say, "What is Omarion doing on Brother Rich channel? Why? Shouldn't he be somewhere dancing?" Like they wouldn't. Like I put everybody in a box. They wouldn't think you would even be on here. So, what's your
Facts.
thoughts on the whole? Everybody's the awakening. There's an awakening happening right now that's
Facts.
undeniable, my brother.
Facts. I think it's good. I think it's good to start having open dialogue, about the multitude of perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Myself, I don't like to divulge into the political society too often, because we all know a lot of politics don't stand by their words, but they're very good with them. They know how to use them very well. But I think those conversations need to be had. I think along with a lot of other conversations that are being had right now. But I was telling my mom, I was like, man, I remember being a kid and life not being this way, and it being, I guess, peaceful, or maybe it was just that, these issues weren't being brought to the forefront and discussed. You know what I'm saying? So I like that these conversations are being had. I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? let's keep the conversation going. You know what I mean? Have some input. And it's a lot of knowledgeable brothers and sisters, such as yourself. And I just want to say personally, what I mean, I've been tuning into your channel for a while. I don't even like to use the phrase conscious community, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of intelligent brothers and sisters that your community is tied to, you know. Just to name a few that have inspired me, aside from yourself, but definitely Blue and Red Pill. I definitely know about KT the Arts Degree, Brother Panic, you know what I mean? Uh, who else? Bobby Hemmett, um, Phil Valentine, Dr. Phil Valentine. Who else that I could think of right now? Those are the ones that kind of come to mind right now. But along with your channel and those brothers, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing a lot of research and learning, man. So it's even important what you guys are doing as far as sharing the information. And we all connected, bottom line, point blank, you know what I'm saying? So thank you. And salute to everybody that, you know what I mean, is tuning in. And I hope we're able to do this again too. You know what I'm saying? I know you probably got another question, but I just wanted to sidebar, you know what I mean, and let you know that, man, what you're doing, the work you guys are doing, everybody coming together to have a conversation, because this is like my first conversation within your community. Wait a minute, I'm thinking about another brother too. Used to be an actor.
Gano Grills?
Yeah, Gano Grills. He's another one. Gano Grills. But definitely, as far as the information go, man, definitely appreciate, you know what I mean, what y'all doing and what you're putting down. And, I'm glad you having, entertainers in the industry on your channel. You know what I'm saying? I know Dane was just on here. So, you'll be surprised, man. You'll be surprised who's watching. You know what I'm saying? So keep doing your thing.
Definitely, definitely. You named some, a lot of metaphysical speakers. Brother Bobby Hemmett.
Yeah.
Haven't talked to that brother in a while. I hope the brother's doing good. Him and his wife Linda.
Yeah.
Panic. Dr. Phil Valentine. Gano Grills.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the alchemical process of a human being becoming tapping into his spiritual energy.
Yes.
Watching Bobby Hemmett and watching all of these speakers, how does that make you feel about the whole, about, you've been taught to see the world as material and love cars and
right.
love beautiful women and love the magnificent food and just love everything that's appealing to your senses, your sensories, the
right.
eyes and then the ears and everything. Does listening to these brothers change that? Does that make you realize things are illusions? So who gives a fuck? Or does it make you realize things are illusions? So I should do this. I should be more serious. Like, just what's your total outlook on things studying this metaphysical information?
That there's more. There's more to it.
Way more. Okay.
Way more to it, and it's deeper than you could actually even fathom. You know what I'm saying? And how we're all really connected through these things. And if we didn't have these elders, and you know, I mean, where will we be? You know what I'm saying? The importance of family and just sharing as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate my brother too, because he introduced me to a lot of these speakers. So yeah, studying, or sitting on YouTube for 8 hours, because that's the only way you're gonna really get the information. You know what I mean? You have to sit in there, you know what I mean, and really listen to what's going on. It's just a powerful thing, man. And yeah, man, some powerful brothers, you know what I'm saying? And learning about the crystals and just all of the above. It's all in all, just there's more, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not really searching for more, then you probably won't find this.
You got when what they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Facts. Facts.
Man, listen, yo, thanks so much, my brother. Is anything you got going on right now that you want to let the people know about?
Well, yeah, be expecting some new music. I'm doing a VE, a visual experience. My next album is titled Passport, is the soundtrack to my life. I can't wait to show everyone this new music. And all in all, just stay connected, stay tuned. And yeah, let's do this again. Let's do this again, Rich.
Indeed, we definitely got to do it again, my brother. I would love to do it in person, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I want to do it in person too, bro, for sure.
And you gonna be in New York anytime soon, my brother?
When I touch down, you be the first person I hit.
Yo, me, you, Red Pill, all of us. We need to
Come on, let's get it.
do something big. Yo, but thanks for coming on. I appreciate you. Thanks for giving my audience the time. And
Word up.
much success to you and
Thank
everything you got going on, my brother.
Peace, man. Thank you.
I'll
And
talk
thank
to you
you
soon.
all. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace, family.
All right, man.